So the big question is this: how do investors like us who don't have a PhD in finance or millions to start investing, how do we grow our bank accounts to build real savings and retirements and yet still have the time to do what we really love? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer.
Awesome. Hey guys, John Wooten here with the Stock Market Secrets Podcast. So excited for you today. We're actually going to talk about one of the most fun things all day, and that's persistence. And the mentality behind it is going to take you to that whole nother level of success, that whole next level of growth, development, and fulfillment with your role in the marketplace. And it comes out today because I'm on the grind. We're trying to get that first 25 grand to overcome the PDT rule and get in the market, which is awesome, expand sphere of influence. And one really good way to do that is through, starting an online business and using affiliate marketing and, other spheres of product promotion and growth and development through native, content management and also online ads to facilitate, just making bank, right? So when you do that, something interesting happens. I got email lists like a couple hundred people, and I was working through it today. We're going hard every day, right? You got to send your email out every day, and then work on content every day, which is it's a lot. I've been going super hard because I care, because it matters, and then I'm also working sales jobs too, and that's super fun stuff. Just a lot of work, a lot of stuff to get going. So, as I go to school today, it's like I was thinking, like the only thing that separates the individuals that are out there and producing results in the marketplace versus the people that are not, right? Like, it's just based on the systems and practices that you build in your life to, establish that recurring income, right? So, for example, I sent out, 2 simple emails this morning, and they made, like $10, and that's pretty normal. And I'll do that, every day, and it's like you're learning these systems and processes that are going to consistently create profits for you, and then you can grow them geometrically over time, right? So I'll run like ad marketing campaigns and then run them to affiliate offers, front end break even, online sales funnels, and I'll use those as a way to increase my audience, sphere of influence, and also just get to more people so I can serve more people and grow over time, because it's really important to get quality financial advice in front of more and more people. And as I look at a lot of the players in the financial market space, the one thing I kind of don't see as much is like consistent content publishing, but rather you see a lot of like brokers advertising everywhere, which is just crazy because they charge these ridiculous commissions, fees, whatever on accounts every day. Then because of that, they make a whole bunch of money that they can then blow on ads, right? Which is fair play. That's how they're going to do it, which is how it works most of the time with these brokers, because they just take money from their investors and they use it to recruit more investors. And I don't know if they serve them any better. It just kind of is the same, with marketplace service. You're just connecting individuals to the marketplace rather than providing, like newfound value or whatever. It's a whole big debate, but it was really interesting because, there are these networks where, companies will say like, here's how much we pay for new leads and new clients, stuff like that. And there were some of these financial companies, they're paying like upwards of $60 through their advertisements to acquire a new client. And it's like, you had to think about the quality of the service you're bringing to the marketplace when your customer acquisition cost is really high. And it's awesome if you're able to create that value and able to increase your cart value, your lifetime client value, by giving them quality advice or whatever it is that you do to add value. But it made me kind of think a little bit more about like where's that money come from, right? Like, because you'll have brokerages and they'll do a couple 100 million a year in fees by bringing certain services to the marketplace, getting people into the markets. And it's like, why are they compensated so much for that? But then when you look at like blockchain technologies where you have decentralized asset management, those are running at like break-even cost on electricity with like 40% profit margins for the miners that are running the computer programs every day on the high end. With most services, you're really only paying for what you use, and you're not feeding into the budget that pays for giant skyscrapers for financial institutions or the employees that run the receptionist desk, or the office building air conditioning or advertising marketing budgets. It just doesn't happen because you're only paying for the services you use in the marketplace, which is usually how it should be. You pay and then you use what you pay for. And especially in an area like finance where like you're dealing with people's livelihoods and their portfolios, it brings into question how much profit should be made, because that profit that you make in that industry is essentially just taking away directly from the returns of individual investors and really just sucking money out of their portfolios to pay for the added features and services that are run by these brokerages in order to pay all their staff. And it's just kind of interesting because I see these guys, they're getting paid tons of money, which means they're charging people tons and tons of money to use their services. And it's like, well, how much of that should really be happening given that you're looking at companies where their job is really to facilitate market access to people and to allow them the opportunity to invest and grow real savings and retirements. And it just kind of sucks because with a lot of financial firms, they charge really high fees to compensate work, but the quality of the work is questionable because with ETFs and all these other very high quality investment vehicles for long-term investors and individual asset management through 90 noon trading, a lot of the time you'll have like the same service at different places because it's available in the free marketplace, but you'll be paying different amounts of cash to actually facilitate those services. I know a really good example is I'll run a couple of trades through Fidelity and it's like $5 unless you get a promotion or something, but once the promotion's done it's about $5. And then I go to a broker like TradeZero and it's $0 on most trades, and it's like, well, what's the difference here? And a lot of times it comes down to, well, at Fidelity you're paying thousands of people to be your financial advisor, when in reality the only most people who are employed is because most people investing just don't have a grasp on personal finances and investments. And if they spent 3 days investigating and learning and growing in space, they could really do just about everything that they're being taught or being advised upon or whatever, because at a fundamental level the knowledge is like freely out there in the marketplace and not very it's pretty easy to apply because everything is available. All you got to do is type in the right ticker or find the right research website. Yahoo Finance, you on Yahoo Finance, free website, and it's about the same amount of tools that any given financial advisor will have, but people don't use it, or sometimes it's just a confidence issue where they want more reliance on others that they have more trust in and more belief in and creates a really weird dynamic where a lot of people will, sacrifice performance, and they'll pay higher fees for the, privilege to work with other people. And it's really, really interesting because you can charge, a lot of money to help people set up their portfolios, but at the same time, it could educate people at a fraction of the cost and just ask them to commit, some of their time to actually get it done. And then all of a sudden, they're empowered, for the rest of their lives to actually appreciate, use, and profit from the time, the energy, and whatever capital they spent to get that quality financial education that's going to pay dividends for, the rest of your life. It's just really powerful stuff. But, kind of like in the medicine industry, or, you don't try to, a lot of the times, whatever you want to say about it, but the doctors, they try to treat a patient will actually, cure them. It's like, I feel like that's kind of what a lot of people do in the financial services industry. Especially to, individuals that maybe don't know that, like, it's not that difficult to learn about the investment space and use it to create, real savings and retirements just by creating quality portfolios for themselves and then practicing, reasonable risk management. It's going to save them in the long term tons and tons of cash and fees, and at the same time give them, better profits because they're directly accessing the marketplace and they have direct control over their funds and their investments versus, traditional firms or asset managers, where a lot of times, I'll ask people and they literally don't even know what they're invested in. Like what the heck, right? I had probably like 6 teachers in high school, and like none of them like knew what they were invested in. Like, it was so weird because like what you study will grow, right? Like what you put your attention on will increase in value, right? So if I spend every single day focusing on building Lego sets, right, then I'm probably going to produce a lot of results in that aspect of the marketplace. I'm probably going to have a lot of completed Lego sets, right? So it's sort of similar, right? Like if I never think about Lego sets, then I probably won't have a whole lot of them made at the end of the month. And, Lego sets are nominal, right? Oh, man. But when you think about, these individual investors, right, that just aren't focusing on their portfolios, that aren't thinking about how they can actually grow themselves, but more importantly, grow their finances to a level that is, equal to or above their financial advisor, based solely on some very basic education that's going to enable them for years and years and years to create their own portfolios, create their own growth, whatever it is, the result that they want. A lot of the times just comes from focus and putting in the effort to, actually do the work, right? Because, once you start, learning and growing with it, all of a sudden you open up access to this amazing world where instead of having a focus on, other people and always, get a dad or call or whatever to access to your finance, whatever advisor, you're able to take it into your own hands and make it happen, and then create results that are better than most, financial advisors, that are better than most areas of expertise, because you're going to do a better job of managing your own portfolio when you know what you're investing in and you understand, especially with technical analysis, how to find those outperforming returns And those outperforming returns, a lot of times you make a whole lot of money. It's going to incentivize you to keep performing, to keep doing, and to keep going, because now you start to see a direct and proportionate result and connection between the work you do and the research you do and the trading you do that connects directly to the income you produce in the marketplace. There was a ticker this morning, I think it was MID, I think it might have been DFD something. Stock was a pretty normal 9 to noon setup. Broke through the VWAP after a really, really big pre-market gain at like 85 cents. And, that's usually when you'll enter. There was also a really, really sweet candlestick setup that it went through. And with this setup, the stock, it had a tweezer bottom reversal on the 1 minute, and then also had that VWAP breakthrough. So those are really, really good buying indicators, especially once it breaks through, the moving average. You're in it, right? So I was in it like 82 cents, and then the stock goes to like, it has an ABCD really early morning setup. So you add the jump to the top, and that's where you find your top. And it goes like 94 cents, 93.5, something like that. Like that's huge, right? That's like 10%, 9%. Like that's an entire year of the S&P a lot of the time. Like, can you imagine that happening? Just like, that's like not even a big move, right? Especially with that noon stocks, like 10%. That's like pretty average. And that happens every single day, right? There's consistently tickers, pre-market gainers, 9 to noon stocks. They're going up 10% off of, not like the gains, right? So it's up 70% for the gain, and then the bookable technical analysis, the technical trade on it is a 10% gain, right? So just by identifying it, it's already up 70, 800 percentage points. You just want to get that little bit on top where it's, I use my technical analysis, I figured out what works, and just give me 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever the percentage is. And on stocks that are moving hundreds of percentage points in a day, it's like, yeah, sure, right? It makes sense because you're playing in a more active marketplace, a marketplace where you're going to be more easily rewarded for the work that you do, because that marketplace just flat out has more opportunities for growth, more areas of development that you can leverage to create your personal success, because it's just a whole different world from what 99% of financial advisors manage, right? They're always worried about what index funds are you going to balance yourself with, or what bonds are you going to have. Like, if you look at most of those portfolios constructed purely with stocks and bonds, like at a fundamental level, they're very reliant on each other, right? So the bond market, especially with bond funds, it's very reliant on stock movements, at least historically, right? So a lot of times you'll have these diversification methods which are actually less effective than a lot of active management on a personal level, because you don't necessarily have direct control over the investments you're in, which is totally cool for long-term investments and putting in the work to create an account that's going to grow and grow and grow in the long term. But if you're looking for those outperforming results, those outperforming returns, then in those two magic words, right, technical analysis, it's going to be your gateway to do that and to make it happen and to crush the returns that most people say take a year to get in a week, day. It changes every single day, but it's an entirely different platform, entirely different way to invest, a totally new opportunity in the marketplace, and it's an opportunity that there's not a lot of people take advantage of, so it's not as mainstream, and so you'll have a lot of naysayers for sure, but when you understand it and you can appreciate the immense power that is hiding, every single day in capital markets, you can get to a very, very, very special place where you start to get out there and to produce results that are just staggering. They're insane. So hey, I really hope you guys enjoy this. I really hope you have an amazing day. Go out there, work hard, put the effort in, stay persistent, and double those portfolios. I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much. Bye.
Want more stock market secrets? If so, go get your free copy of my best-selling book, 9 to Noon. You can get your free copy plus $11,176 of unannounced bonuses it took me years to uncover, completely for free at 9toNoonSecrets.com. Inside 9 to Noon, you'll find the top 38 secrets you can use to double your portfolio every 2 years and make upwards of 10% per trade daily.